We got a bunch of year two quarterbacks in college football. Which one of them just really takes off into the next level? Which one of them really scales that performance? I got three of them I'm looking at. Clint Brewster put up a really good piece on CBSSports.com, I think earlier today, and he included a lot of guys who haven't started full seasons, like Nico Iamaleava. Clearly, you know I'm all in on him at Tennessee, but he hasn't started a full year. I'm thinking about guys who have started a full year or most of a year, and then this is kind of their full year too. Drew Aller, since we were just talking about Penn State, Drew Aller is that. Getting some NFL feedback the other day. He's not draft eligible or anything yet, but getting some NFL feedback. Whereas some people in the general college football public have sold their stock in him, some in the media won't be talking about him much. The NFL folks still think the world of him. And so I look around and I say, okay, well, if they don't think this was a busted evaluation, if they think Drew Aller's still everything we thought he was coming out of high school, clearly they think there's still some development that has to be done there, which is normal. It's college football. But also, you've got a new offensive coordinator there. We've talked about him a lot, Andy Koldenicki out of Kansas. And if anything, meshes on that front there, the explosive play rate increases, then he's a prime candidate for that. I think about Rocco Becht up at Iowa State. And I've chronicled this a number of times. I'll do it at least once more. Number one, because I have heavy bias here. I'm just openly rooting for Iowa State. Is it unprofessional? No, I don't think so at all. So go Clones and Rocco Becht at quarterback there. Good year last year. Could be one of the breakout players in college football this coming fall. Could have been playing probably at a dozen other more high-profile places. The NIL offers were on the table. He said, nope. Ames, Iowa. Probably I'm the only other one that's quoted that recently more than him. Give me Iowa State. So I'm looking at him because elsewhere there's a ton of returning experience on that team. It's the Big 12. It's the perfect conference for that sort of situation to be bubbling in. A lot of you have stopped talking about Matt Campbell as one of the most underrated, overlooked coaches in college football. That just means he actually is now one of the most underrated and overlooked coaches in college football. Nothing's changed about that guy. It's not like he forgot what he was doing from a few years ago. It's Iowa State. It's a very, very cyclical program. And thirdly, Avery Johnson at Kansas State. When we were up there on the Pate State Speaker Series and Chris Kleiman sat down with us, he talked him up on the record. But, we talked with Kleiman a little bit before and after we recorded, talked to some of their coaches too, and they love him, love Avery Johnson. And so then they, of course, try and go out and get as many pieces to put around him. You got really, really good tailbacks there, but also Avery Johnson, just year one to year two as a passer, could be a really, really big improvement. And at that point, you're looking at a complete player. Leadership-wise, they've had few come through there. The likes of Avery Johnson. So those are three I look at. Jackson Arnold at Oklahoma hasn't started a full year. Of course I'm looking at him. Like I said, Nico at Tennessee, of course. But the second-year quarterbacks, that's how you get a big surprise on your hands. That's how you get a surprise playoff contender that makes the playoff and then does something in the playoff. And you're saying, wow, why didn't I see this coming in June or July or August? Well, it's because maybe you based your predictions and expectations off of what had happened instead of thinking about what could happen.